She has an app though. Maybe she was peeing up there.
I'm wondering if is it dark
Can we
because
see
of
your
complete
star app?
cloud coverage?
Yeah,
Because I
that's
think
cloud
the sky
coverage.
I think
What
the
now?
sky would probably be luminescent
Wait,
where it would light up somewhat.
before the people never see you again.
So I live up
You're
in the
taking
north,
off on your own in
and like
Antarctica.
in the middle of the summertime, not quite far enough that
They'll
we
see her
get
tomorrow.
24-hour days,
It's not
but
after
like
that.
middle of the summer, we get twilight,
Okay.
24-hour day. Like there's the sun comes up,
Yeah.
goes
There you
down.
go. She's gonna run away and prove that they don't let you go
There's
wherever you
like
want.
3 hours of twilight. It
Dang,
never
that's
gets
nice.
Dude,
completely dark.
at dinner, hey guys, did you hear that at dinner? Tune said, "Oh well, no one will care. She won't have a problem." I'm like, oh yeah. Elizabeth will just go wherever she wants. They won't care at all. All right.
Effed Up World in the house is up. Dean Lingley, what's up? Doug in the house. Dougie, fresh. Sunsets to the west. Why would it be north?
It's shame they're not filming each
south.
other. It means you've got two separate trips, really, in some respects.
Chris Mars with a $50 super chat. Chris.
I mean, Pazzo, what do you think you're seeing there?
Earth
There's
is
a
tilted.
Terminator
Thank you,
line of a
Brian.
93 million mile away sun.
I missed it. Went too fast. Jaron, bring home some glacier water from an Eskimo. I think you're at
To
the
be
wrong
honest, man, if you guys
Yeah,
want a
I can't hear good.
non-biased
Also,
observer to go along on a trip
You're
to
wanting
the
us to violate
Antarctic,
international law.
I would 100% schedule so
Can we
that
see your
my
star
shit
app?
is
We wanna
covered
see what star
here
that is over there. It's the
and
first star
just
we've seen.
be the quiet guy in the back and just
That's weird.
record, document whatever you need, and just there you go. Here's your paperwork. Here's documentation. I got to go to the Antarctic.
808 watching live. That's nice.
Nice, wasn't it?
Well, you're 2 months
Close
too
to
late to
finish.
do that.
I'll never be finished. You'll never
on this
finish
trip?
me, bro. You can't ever finish me. Ever. I have powers you've never seen before. Try and finish me.
Yo, we haven't even fully revealed the bad news for all you like globe haters yet. It's like a win for us in every
what is it?
conceivable way.
It's saying it's Jupiter.
Oh, Jupiter.
So
It's Jupiter.
you guys haven't
This
figured
is
that
the
out
Sky
yet.
Guide
That's
app, by
sad.
the way, guys.
Super bright. What is awesome?
Jeran, should we tell them about how it's like a win for us no matter what, or should we like wait a little longer? Because they don't seem to. I don't know. They don't seem to get it.
Well, there's nothing that's going to happen on this trip that's going to make it be like, oh, they didn't lie to us at all. So
That's what I'm saying.
it doesn't matter.
It's like, oh, there is dark matter after all.
Oh, I had no idea.
Bro,
We did go to the moon. Look at the sun. It definitely means
Yeah.
going to the moon.
like, oh my gosh, whales don't send sonar waves 10,000 miles. What a trip.
Yeah, we tried something different. It's called, it says go live with. And then it said I could send a link to somebody I wanted to go live with. And I almost fell again. I'm getting really good at this. Don't look at the screen so much.
Jaren's got
Damn
these, dude, Jaren's got like size like 27 boots on. They're like huge.
it. Size 27.
They're insane, bro.
They look kind of big.
Yeah.
Can we
That's why-
noon group
the end
sun?
of the
Oh,
AE
so
map.
Lowry,
There's a
yeah, we can do that.
24-hour
But the
sun.
plan is on the 15th. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 15, 16,
It won't be the end of anything.
17 Eastern.
Well, dude, these guys.
Everyone's going to be filming the sun. So, but we preferably with a solar filter. And if you have a P900, I'm sorry, P1000, you want to do a full optical zoom, no digital zoom. Everybody's going to do that so we can check the
As
angular
long as there's
size.
flat earthers willing
But
to
if you
say
wanna
there's
do it tomorrow,
100
if we're-
suns,
what do we have
the AE
tomorrow?
map
Noon?
will
Oh,
live.
no, we can't do it at noon.
Yeah, someone said, what's it got the Eminem vibe going on?
No, you
Yeah,
don't
I'm
need
gonna
any
plug
more than
low-
one sun.
some low spars.
No,
So the doc
Witsit
says that
sticking
I'm
to one, he's
insane. I
saying
got an
copy, cut,
Antarctic
stick, and
ice
that's the end of the
wall
matter, isn't
around
it?
my brain because every time I climb, it change. That's King West.
Reflections
If
and
you drink,
bendiness.
you should
That's what you
say-
need.
So hold on.
So
So
sour.
some
I
of
don't
this
drink,
footage
sorry.
might end up in the movie because
Yo,
isn't
yo,
that
yo, yo,
filmmaker
yo,
there?
yo.
Jaron,
Hey.
let's do it from where you're at tomorrow. Yeah, but what
Yeah,
time?
could be.
What time do we have to have? What time do we have to
1
bring
p.m.
our-
1
I think
p.m.
he's
1
there in the
p.m.
back.
Okay, so what time did you say? 11? We do 11.
Hey guys, what do you call a bear that spends their summer in the Arctic and their winter in the Antarctic?
Austin's got jokes.
Polar
A
bear.
bipolar bear. Let's get
Bipolar.
it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Let's get
Oh, I
it.
see DJ in the house. Did I see him? I saw him. Maybe not.
That
Brian
joke
Cash,
was
local weed?
unbearable.
Oh, homegrown, Cali grown.
He doesn't
Cali
have
grown
the
weed.
qualifications.
If you're just joining, here's
pandemonium.
what's going on.
Boom.
I'm gonna show you what the sky looks like. So we're gonna start west.
Oh, and Benjamin tomorrow in Durst, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Don't worry, it'll
Nice.
get better. Just bear with me.
If you're in the north or the south, just call a
Can you check the
paramedic.
tracking, see if it shows us all at the beach, or is it still all fucked up? Somebody check our
And
tracking. See
bear
if you see
witness
us
to
all
this southern
at the
sky.
beach and see little Duffy in his little bed.
This has been sounding unbearable.
The
And then that's
camera is contrasting a hell out of that
Texas gamer.
sky
I mean,
because
what,
there's
like-
some
You are
luminosity on
the
the
best.
ground.
Thank you, Texas.
Okay,
gamer.
so like that's
brought
just like
only the bare
24-hour sun.
Someone
in
in
the
the super
house.
chat
John?
say Jeran owes 15 push-ups.
It's 1 p.m. in Australia here, and
Why?
I've got the
And
sun
I
out.
curse on live streams.
Like they're basically
No.
looking like over yonder
The
is where the
push-up-
24-hour
the
sun is.
push-up
You didn't read
doesn't
the fine
go
Like, you know,
away.
like
You
right
didn't read
there,
the
because
fine
they're
print at
looking
all.
like south
Oh,
from what are
A
they,
little bit.
53?
the alien
Grizzly
guidelines
relay
are
on
no
the house.
push-ups.
I have more
They're
not- they're
than
not-
you
thank you,
guys.
guys.
You can't pay for
They're
If
not
you're
in the
looking
middle
at
of
the
their.
You're welcome, sir.
portion
You're welcome.
of the ice ring, and I've got
We,
the sun above
like
my
to
head
hook
in
you up.
Australia.
Guy on that
How have
mic.
you got
Whereabouts
light
in
over
Australia?
there?
Boston. And that little orange
Brisbane.
box thing.
God, that's
Chat going by, and I can't read the chat. It's kind of hard. I can barely.
Bear in mind, they're not actually in the middle of the night there even though it's
Josh
midnight
Monday
there,
music
they're
in the
not-
house.
in terms
Another.
of the
I think
sun,
he's a VIP. Maybe not.
it's not until nearly 2
So
a.m.
Punta
the
Arenas.
sun is at this lowest point in the sky that they're effective midnight.
One Helios.
Yeah, dude, it's a celestial
It's,
sphere.
it's like 53 and a
It's
half
because of
degrees
the
south
tilt of
latitude.
the Earth on its axis.
When I found the Mormon
so
church was a lie, I
it's depending on what time of night you are and
released a
what
baseball.
time of year it is. It depends on what the axis is tilting the Earth at.
Yeah.
Well, solar,
Jaron, you were at the
solar
beach.
midnight
Sweet.
there and
How about everybody else?
their actual time
Nice.
midnight. It's just because the time zone they're in.
There's
it's just
not been any bike thieves.
not
We saw
married
one
up.
today.
Yo, guys, what a
Because the
trip. We're going
clouds
to
is
get on a
dark
plane.
everywhere
We're going
else, 'cause
to
it
fly
seems only in
towards
that
that to
location
see
there's
what's
light.
going on. That's
So,
objectively
in Brisbane,
cool.
clouds usually do that anywhere else in the world. Like, do you ever just have a cloudy day and it's like this?
Now I feel the upper body. Now I feel
No,
the
but it was
nipples
like
could
that
definitely
yesterday
carve
also.
something.
That's why I asked.
I haven't chafed
Where was
yet,
it
but
this morning?
my lower half is still warm.
It's,
think
it's
it was
1 o'clock
4
in the
a.m.
I want to live in
afternoon.
these pants and these.
It's
So
1 o'clock
if
in the
it's
afternoon in
sun over,
Australia.
What
Yeah.
size shoe do you? Put the shoe on.
What do you think? Is that
Well,
feasible?
I'm 14 and a half, but this is 15 and a half. But
Yo, shout
wait till
out
you feel
the
the fucking-
Swift.
Sun is directly
Swift
over the
Daddy
middle of the
299.
You're gonna say it's the
Australian.
best
Sending
thing you
love,
ever put
thanks
on
for
your feet
what-
ever.
Yeah, I could take a photo
Jaren's
of it.
interrupting
Right
the super chat.
above my head.
Sending love, thanks for what you do. Been
That is the
follower
best
since
thing ever.
2017.
That's not true. You're lying.
Best thing ever.
Thank
Put
you
your
for
foot in
the-
there.
I want to go turn my camera on.
You just gotta
Thank you
feel
for the
comfortable.
$100 super
Yeah,
chat.
you've got CGI on your camera. That's what.
Who?
I love how
Swift
Glover's
Daddy
have to tell us
299.
that
Thank
the
you for
sun is
the
in certain
$100 super chat.
positions
Says
like
he's been
we
a follower
haven't known
since
that all along.
2017. So whenever
Well, you're
Jeran
looking
had
at
the
it in
same
the
exact amount of
south,
subs he
on
does
the other
now.
side of
Look at everybody's tripping.
round
They put on my
disc.
boots and they want to never take them off.
And I'm seeing here above my head.
It's a bit weird, no?
Really go down the rabbit hole here.
What round disc are you
Yeah,
speaking
but
of?
it's like how many times are you gonna wear those,
Yeah.
bro?
It says it's 49
The flat
degrees right
earth.
now. Shut up.
It's like 30.
Oh, is
Dude,
the
it's
flat
like
Earth a round
it's like
disc?
7
It's not
degrees.
49. It's like
What is a
windy as
star?
fuck too.
A flat star?
Okay,
I don't
15
know.
push-ups.
You tell me what strongman model you want to put on everybody.
Yeah, we can't believe the
That
trip
it's
actually
a
happened either.
round
And each
disc.
day that gets
Oh,
closer, we're like, are we
Come
gonna
on,
be
couple of
like,
you know this already.
Bro, I
Coming
was
to
saying,
pick
I
you
He
was
up.
doesn't
saying,
have
Oh.
like he can't
dude,
even
Jeran,
imagine
Jeran,
what
I
his
don't know about
flat
you,
Earth
but
looks
like,
like. Let him
it
be.
hit me today when we were
Yeah,
watching the
it's got a model
video.
even be.
Yeah.
That's
There's
when I was
plenty
like,
of different
oh, bro,
models
we're about to
of it.
go.
Oh no 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 no
Yeah,
no!
it was
I
crazy.
don't
Like,
want
it
to
was
straw man
was
you.
pretty surreal.
You can't possibly have one that you agree with because no possible one
That's
exists.
cool.
It's fine.
Yeah. Don't talk about models if you're not going to pin yourself down to one. Don't talk about models.
Yo,
By
but
the
don't
way,
interrupt though. He was like just said 2 words and you just blurted out.
I can't
so
hear you anymore.
Don't interrupt, please.
Are you muted? Did you mute yourself? Oh, you're losing service? Hey, can you guys still see me and hear me? Because now I can take over the stream.
Yeah.
Better than veterans, don't want to let them in. Ain't got choice but to let them in. Food is your medicine. Don't you test they teaching you Edison here to be reckoning. Reckon it's time to reckon. What is the president? We not elected them. I mean, they selected it.
What's he
World,
saying?
they claim we infected with something they never could claim when they testing it. Something they never could find when they testing it. I'll leave them hanging like they on a necklace. Earth
Rapping,
is electric,
bro.
and that means it's resident. Really, your resident.
Turned
Get
up
that at
in there.
7. I'm taking over your stream with bars. Okay,
Is
they
it
said
Jaren's
it's 5
stream
by
that they're
5,
streaming?
5 by 5 with the bars.
Yeah.
So to be clear, nothing to
Oh,
report.
this
then,
is my
really.
stream now, son. Okay,
No, there's nothing
okay,
going on.
real fast.
No,
So
it's exactly.
we
you
did.
know,
We were
now
told we
that
could
they're
only
down
bring
there
one back to
streaming this,
check,
like,
right? We were
the
told that
Globers are in here
we
trying
had
to
a
say like,
55
see,
pound
this
limit.
proves it.
Obviously, commercial
We-
airlines are 50 pounds.
I don't
Haven't
So we
said
had to
that
count
yet.
everything in one
Didn't
single
think
checked
that
bag,
this
50 pounds.
took place. That's my
And then we
question.
had
This
our,
isn't
carry-on
important
luggage,
for the claim that the
Yeah,
Globe's
everyone says they can
true.
still
This is
hear me.
important to show you
in the
guys they're
chat.
actually down there in the south, right? And then there'll be no
No,
Well,
problems
okay, but that sucks for you.
afterwards.
we understand that, and we've
Yeah, see?
understood what
Better
happens
than
in the
veterans,
South
no one will
all
let them
along.
in.
You
Ain't
guys
got choice but to let
When
them
you
in.
say
Food is your
we,
medicine. Don't notes.
Why are
They
you
teach
trying
me
to
that
say
it's
all
okay to be
flat
breath
earthers
and your rest in the
understand that?
Snapchat
Because I've
records.
heard
Earth is
flat
electric,
earthers
and
that
that means
don't.
presence is really your resident.
Mm.
Are you talking for
Can
yourself?
you
first?
name
What is the
somebody
president? We
that
not elected
says
and meanings
that
elected to shut down the world and they
the
claim we
sun
infected with
doesn't
something
do
they never
this in the
confirmed when they
south and that
tested it.
this is all fake and it's all fake footage?
Give me
Is David
5
Weiss
years on the
on
Oh,
board.
right. I thought, yeah, I mean, there's well, David Weiss is one. Nathan Oakley said it as well. Jeran has made a whole video
Yeah,
about
see,
it. Which
they're
ones do you
5
want?
by 5 of me.
Incorrect.
Would
Can
you
you
like
provide me
three?
with that?
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
like
Just put
three
no, it's the
Odyssey
other
videos
stream.
right
Wait,
now?
are we live on my
Yeah,
channel
where they
too?
said that there's no possible
What
way
was
that
the
there's
view count?
sunlight
same
in the
one, it's the same
south and that every single
Same
video
stream.
is fake.
I'm not getting super dead.
No, not sunlight. I mean, they may have. Well, to be honest with you, they did say there was no 24-hour sun. That's the most important thing.
Okay, so let's go over this again like we always have to do with the Globers. Is what they're experiencing right now a 24-hour sun?
No, but
They're
we're not talking
they're
about
not
that.
in Antarctica.
Oh, they were at Serena, dude.
Correct. So what they're observing right now is
I
not a
see Serena.
24-hour sun.
Yeah, it's nighttime. They're in Chile.
What they have stated, what they've stated is
time lapse?
repeatedly is that we may see
You know what's the trick? If
sunlight,
you ever
but
do
not
time
the
lapses
actual
over
sun.
water,
Austin
the star
said that a
trails
number of
never
times.
actually
And then the
intersect
second
with the
thing has
water.
been stated
You
is
think like if it's a
every
ball,
video that has shown the
water's
sun
curving and
to
blocking
go
out the
around
stars,
circling
right?
overhead is
But you
fake.
don't. They always like
two
stop
main
up
statements.
above in the air.
And that's
Like a
why
hard line up
that's
above
why
the
this is
water.
happening. To
Some
see
of
that
them
it's
are
actually
Stars aren't
though.
underneath your feet; they're above
Some of
you.
them
I know
really
that's
are
so
fake.
wild. I must be.
There are some fake ones for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Not to say they all are, but there's
Okay.
Which then means
Then
there would be
that's
some kind of a psyop that's been played out, to some degree.
yeah, so that's why this is happening to
I'll just stay the same forever.
Playing
to show without any doubt.
Right, but here's the thing: just because a video has been
so serious.
faked of
You
the
guys probably can't
24-hour
see on my
sun,
phone. So
why would they have to
supposedly
do
that
that
star
if the
Sirius
24-hour
might
sun
be
took place?
visible in the day?
Why would
in
you have
Antarctica.
to fake one?
Right.
That's
Well,
what
they
they
haven't
said.
faked
Yeah,
it. That's just the
You're
claim.
going to agree that
yeah.
none of them are
Playing
fake.
devil's
And that's true. Then
advocate.
we can check
It's
exactly
not
where
very
it is
hard to
based on the
fake
latitude we're supposed to be at.
linear
see if
or
it's the right
a
elevation.
circular movement of the sun. All you need is a
Yeah, so real fast,
time-lapse
okay?
photograph
So
and a tripod.
we were told when we got
Right.
here that we can actually check an extra
So what I'm
bag.
saying is,
Okay?
I think that
So that means
there's
we have an
actual videos of a sun above the horizon
unlimited bags. Really, this is
for
what it is.
24 hours.
And each group has
But there are also videos that
a
have faked
total
that
weight
taking
limit.
place.
Well,
Why would
our
somebody
group
fake
is
one?
like
Well, because
basically all there
trying to
is.
get
Because they
attention.
were
We have, like,
planting a
pretty much the whole
psyop,
plane
I
to
guess,
ourselves.
to try
So we
to get,
couldn't even
and then
bring too
pushing
much
the
bags.
AE
We
map
could have brought plenty
to
of
maybe
bags.
build all the
So
way up
anyway,
to this moment,
we can bring an extra
where
bag.
now it's
And
all
so
being
I went
revealed
and I
that there
got
is
this
one there, and
backpack
then to try to
today.
I
Because
mean,
some
I was
people
just
did
throwing
kind
out
of
the
help me
wild
out.
idea earlier, like
I told them, like, oh, this free
go
trip
ahead.
ends up costing
So
thousands. Like,
Gio,
a free
think of it
trip
this
means
way, right?
thousands,
Like,
whatever.
name
So
one globe earther that's
I
going
went
to
and got
come
this
in here
backpack
and not
because everything is
claim
kind of cheap
an
here. It's like
azimuthal
relatively cheap.
equidistant projection as what
And it's a
we
nice little
all
backpack.
think the Earth
Okay.
is.
And we're going to go to the store tomorrow.
They
and
do
we're gonna
that
start
very
packing it up
commonly, that is
with
very
gadgets
common.
that we didn't get to bring.
Can
Okay?
if I can answer that?
That's what we're bringing.
Assumption or kind of assertion,
there's a marine store. They
to
say that
be
this
fair,
water
I
over
guess
here
it's
is
like if you're
some of
gonna
the-
beat
some of the
down
most
a
dangerous
straw
water
man,
in
you
the
got to
world.
put a straw man up and
you
then
got
beat
the
him down.
Magellan
So like
Straits.
that's what it is right there.
Like really
It's just
dangerous
boom,
water or whatever, right?
straw
And they're
man.
all you see that big
and then they go from there
carrier ship.
without
right?
actually
Not carrier ship, but
asking the
big
person
cargo
like,
ship.
how does the sun move or how does the sky move or whatever they
Get all these
do or
boats
don't
out
know
here all the
about
time,
it.
right? And so nearby,
none of us in
there's
here
a
have been to
few
Antarctica,
marine
most likely.
shops.
Actually, Piper
It's
said
like
he
boat
went there,
stores or whatever.
So
And
it
so
is a
some of the boys at the
to
store
be-
shouted them, and we'll jump in
To
there
be
in a
fair,
second.
right? To be fair,
Say what's up.
we've been watching a lot
They were like
of
looking it up for
debates
me
over
based
the
on
years,
my
right? We've seen
location,
loads of
my
them.
longitude, latitude.
And every time we see
And
the flat Earth depicted,
there
it's
are some
depicted
nearby
as
with
the
inventory
AE
that
map.
have some
So
of the
when you
things that
look
we
at
want to get.
someone who's a flat
I think you're
earther
back.
on the left side of the
So,
screen, and then
I
whoever it
started
is, the
hearing
globe on
you,
the right,
and then
you'll
he
see
froze.
on
And now
behind
you're
him, he will
Illuminati one
always
eye.
have the AE
Okay.
projection on the wall.
So
That's what.
they have
That's the only one we've
let me
ever
turn it
seen.
back
We
around.
have not.
So look, real quick.
I've never seen
They
another
have
model being
a
proposed other than the AE
navigational
map.
compass.
It's because
like
it's
a
the
really
best
nice
formulation of flat
mechanical
Earth. I mean, like
compass
there
for
isn't
Yes,
one
of
that's
course it
better.
is. Yeah.
And so,
They have
you know, I
supposedly
respect
a
you.
gyro
You can say like
compass,
some of you
so we're
guys
gonna
will now
bring
say
that.
you've never said
They
it, you
have
never
a
claimed it, but
sextant.
I've seen many a GIF.
We're gonna bring that.
The day and night
And so we
cycles
also
going
have a
over the
southern compass,
tropics.
which is
And then,
apparently
as soon
just
as
really
the AE
whack.
map becomes difficult,
But
you
who
say,
knows?
I don't make any claims.
Apparently
It's
southern
because
compasses are
even the
So
best
we're gonna bring all those.
conceivable
If you guys guys have
Earth
any
map
idea of something else that we can
sucks
bring,
ass.
and I may do a quick little live stream in Discord or show my video.
I don't mean to
wherever while I'm
interrupt,
at.
but I
That
don't
is
know if you
really
know,
just
but
an
around?
unproductive comment. Let's make
Yeah,
the next
I'm
one
not.
a
Let's
bit
make it.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Military
Yeah, I'm
thermometer.
not.
He needs to go over
Hopefully,
here.
what do we
Playing
got
his
here?
stuff over the top of you guys,
Oh
and
yeah,
you
it's
can't
true.
hear
So maybe
either.
something.
You
Yeah,
can't
I
hear
do
Go
have
either,
a
ahead,
Sean.
Sean.
thermal
What'd
gun
you
that's
say? Go
supposed to
ahead.
read the
You got the
temperature
floor.
distribution.
On the live stream, Witsit is
that's also
still
a pretty
playing
good
his
idea.
video.
Like
He's
more-
talking, and you guys are talking, and you can't understand anyone.
Because obviously, according to their model, the sun should
I don't know if
just
you
be
know,
like
but that's what's
It's
happening
not-
on the live stream.
basically the same distance
Check it
away
out.
from you. So the temperature shouldn't
Oh, is it?
change.
Ooh.
The temperature distribution should stay the
You mean
same, like
on YouTube?
nonstop.
No,
So
he's
see
not
if that's
talking
true.
about.
Obviously, we're gonna look and see if
No, I know, but you guys are
and the
talking
relative
over
location
him,
and position,
and so you
elevation
can't hear
angles,
either
and
your
sun, all that.
conversation or
If you
Witsit's
guys can think of anything
conversation.
else that
So
we
I
should
just didn't
get,
know if you
let me
it
know.
was streaming
Like,
on the
obviously,
live stream.
I'm just like calling the
Turn the
community.
live
Everyone
stream
just kind
I
of
can
chip
hear
in
both.
as we think of things that we might want to grab. If it fits in this
You can hear
backpack,
both, or you can just hear
then we'll bring
one,
it.
or you
Okay,
could
so there's the deal.
just turn
I
on
need to get a
YouTube and
couple
watch it
more SD cards,
independently of
which
the
are also
20
very
the
expensive.
24/7
I think like a 1
Flat Earth
terabyte's like
Discord
89 bucks.
icon is the
I
AE
saw at the
map
store today.
right now.
Yeah.
I think it's 89 or
Literally.
100.
But no, they
so
don't claim it, of
like
course.
89 is
I mean, Gio, you said that
89,000
mine was.
there,
I
right?
made an
So
unproductive
anyway,
comment. I mean, I don't know
yeah.
if I'm
So if you
gonna
guys want
take
to
much out of that
obviously
because I
want
don't
to
know
pitch
if
in, and
your
you
only
go dollar
metric's
sign with the good
productivity
cash
in a
app, probably
conversation.
reject you. You got Witsit at
Ooh, burn.
protonmail.com on Zelle, and then you got and just like
Let's
in the
be
description,
productive.
put what
Well, is
it
there a
typically you're
flat
going
They
Earth
to
might
map
be
kind of
that?
pitch
wrapping
it
up
on.
their stream, so I'm
And
kind of
then we also
listening. They
have
might be. Let's listen for a sec.
PayPal.me/.
I think they might be wrapping it up. See if there's any
Those are the
last.
three main ones. Also, you guys go to kofi.com/.
This is the
All right, there you go.
pre-show.
If you guys have ideas, I'm trying to read the chat, but drone.
I mean, what's the alternative to the AE map for flat Earth? Is there one that Antarctica is not the rim? One where it works with the sun in Antarctica? I don't understand.
Well, that was kind of my statement. Was like I was
Ninja
taught
Turtles and Hero
that
Wars.
we live on an orb circling another orb through a solar system. So I don't say flat Earth because it seems like it's become kind of a derogatory term. I say linear plane. Like I'm not convinced either way yet because I don't have enough information or personal experience to make a decision. I'm here, and that's why I offered, like, if they're going to do a trip to Antarctica, I will schedule my life and go be a non-biased observer.
Yeah, but is there a map where it works? Because it doesn't work on any map that I've seen.
In my opinion, no, but you know what?
Yeah, I was
don't
just
have all
showing
the
it.
facts.
I was just showing it a minute ago. How the celestial sphere works in the north and south.
What, the Walter Bislin one?
Like,
Yeah,
I've
but
seen,
when you
I've seen
actually
the disc
move your
model.
position,
Like I've seen the disc model with the two pivoting light sources above it and the overlap and all that, but it just
Doesn't work.
It doesn't seem to match up from my experience in the world.
Drone, then you cut out. Okay, so the drones,
Yeah,
there's two
same for
drones,
me.
and they got approved for a mile high today. So we got two drones that are going to be allowed
when
to
it
go a
has to be
mile
flat,
high, which is crazy,
and
bro. That's
obviously it
so
does
cool.
3 people,
What's
you
up?
have to jump through all these
Oh,
hoops
one
to
Denver.
make it
It's
work.
such a trip how high that is.
they just said they got some
So we should
drones.
get good shots.
Yeah.
It sucks
Mile
because
high,
you know they
got
actually
clearance to
make
go a mile high
solar
with
filters for
drones.
drone cameras. Yeah, I wish we had thought about that. They may. I mean, they may have them here.
Witsit's popped out.
No,
He said they
But
just
see,
got
like,
like some new drones.
hey, if you can, what's your if you
Yeah,
can
you
text
can rip
me
them a
your
mile high. You got
your
a permit to
model,
go.
And then he
your
was
drone
just
model,
talking about could you put a solar
map it
filter
to,
on
bro.
a
Okay,
drone?
and see if they maybe have one. If we can Google one around here.
Good
Talking
idea.
about
Be
it
really
right now,
cool.
trying to get a solar filter for a drone. That would be
I
awesome
tell
if
you,
they did that.
I tell you what,
We did
boat.
that during the
They want the
solar
solar filter?
eclipse. You can. You got to get a lens that'll fit over the camera that's on the drone, but you can because we did that during the solar eclipse.
A neutral density filter?
Yeah, just use the get some arc welding goggles and take the green glass out of them, and you got your filter that won't let your lens get flared.
That's not
You
a
don't
solar
need to do
filter.
that, bro. You can just buy a filter paper and make your own. I've done it. Very simple. It's like a thin sheet of paper. Just kind of
they
like
sell NG
One of the
filters,
gels for like stage lighting.
not a gel, bro. It's a sheet of paper, and it's a
Yeah.
solar.
I know what you're talking about.
So why
And-
do you interrupt every time somebody talks?
Sorry, man.
Probably delay.
Yeah, so you can just cut it out to any size you want and put it to any drone camera you want.
Wait, so what was the? Okay, yeah, I don't. I might have to go back and like listen to some of that because I kind of only listened to parts of it, but did those guys, the thing Witsit was talking about, so did those guys sign it? Is that kind of what?
Yeah,
Because I was like partly listening, but I wasn't able. I knew I might have to go back and like listen to
No,
it again.
he said
So what did he say?
June hadn't signed it.
Who had signed it so far?
He said he thinks he signed it because you have to with that company.
So this is just an ALE thing that is that those guys just have to sign anyways, or is it like an added thing that they're doing, or is it just standard procedure?
I think
the way he said it, everybody that goes on that ALE has to sign that paper. So he's saying what he said was, if I heard him correctly, is that he thinks he signed it without even knowing it.
No, what I think what it was, he hadn't signed the thing directly with Will Duffy. So he said, like, I don't have to abide by those rules. But then they said, yeah, but everyone had to sign the ALE. And within that, there was things to say that you can't film personal people without permission. So
right.
That was basically the thing. He's like signed it without really realizing that trumps everything.
Yeah, he said that Will Duffy was saying, well, that's absurd. You knew that we were going to make. I think it was Will Duffy or McToon. I think they were both saying that, and they were even going to the point to where they had even stated and said, well, we just won't go. And they were trying to manipulate them into saying, well, all right, well, we can do it your way so that we can go. But they didn't do that. Witsit called his bluff, and he said that they told him, said, all right, fine, we won't go. And they were actually going to the point to where they were threatening not to go. And Witsit was okay with not going. And so he just called their bluff, and then they ended up, agreeing to it, I guess.
Say that all again. Can you please?
From what I gathered,
yeah,
he said that Will and McToon were like that. One of them, I think he said that Will Duffy had said, well, that's absurd. You knew that we were going to be recording. You knew that we were going to be making a movie. Either him or McToon one said that. And then when they stood their ground and kept at it, then Will Duffy had made the comment, well, we just won't go then. We just won't go to Antarctica if we can't do that. And it was like, okay, we won't go. Because he was saying he was, doing it in a way to try to manipulate just to get them to, allow it. And it's like, well, we won't go. And then but they ended up agreeing in the end. So, but yeah, they had planned on, because he threatened not to go.
No, but it would come out of that McToon hadn't signed the thing with Will Duffy. So then he brought it out at dinner. So it was out in the open. Yeah, but you signed the ALE thing because everyone had to sign that. So that takes precedent, whether you signed it or not.
See, look, because Toon didn't. I heard Toon yesterday on Multiple Mass Media, and he made a point to mention that he's not part of the final experiment. Like, he paid independently. So I knew what he was getting at, and I was worried about that. And I'm glad they nipped it in the bud, because they're also protected in the ALE's contract also, where they can't be filmed. So, and Toon wouldn't sign that, and I don't think it was Duffy. I think Duffy, I would imagine, would have tried to be the moderator, I would think, if he's the one with all the money at stake. But I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
I'm pretty sure when they were trying to work it out after the dinner, that he said that Will when he pressed on it and he tried to stand his ground, with McToon signing it and McToon agreeing to it, Will Duffy had actually threatened, well, we just won't go because it's absurd. You know that we were going to be recording. You knew that they were going to be recording, and there's going to be, a document made or whatever. And then it's like, all right, we won't go. And then, but he said they finally came to an agreement, and they gave in. And it's like, okay, well, they're going.
Again, I mean, I have so much footage I've found out of Union Glacier that the sun does not set. and that it's in the sky the whole time at this point. Like I have like, it's probably up to like 15 or 20 now of videos that show like, you know, so I mean, it is quite a bit higher evidence now. So like,
Yeah, but if they don't go, man,
the idea that the sun sets and rises and then the sky stays blue at that site just seems to like pretty much 100% be not what happens. So like whatever that site is, now if someone could say like all, whether like footage is fake or is all some kind of soundstage or like whatever, you know, I guess there could be some ideas like that, but it seems like a pretty consistent like place. Like they land and hang out there, they like skydive and all the different videos I've seen. And like, yeah, it just, I see no indication. There's not one clip or even one iota of anything that shows Union Glacier with the sun rising or setting, or that shows Union Glacier with the sun not in the sky and only a blue sky. Literally, I have found zero of those. So, I mean, what I'm expecting them to see is what all the other people that seem to have gone have seen, which would be a 24-hour sun. But yeah, the further question is, what does it look like? And like, yeah, like to get further investigation of it.
Can I ask a question?
You just did that.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt again. I got called on it. Anyway, is Union Glacier the one in Antarctica that has the like hot springs and everything? So it's like super nice in the bottom, and then like you can go skiing and shit at the top.
They don't have hot springs that I'm aware of. I mean, Union Glacier is like on ice in Antarctica. It's like cold as F, and it's just like tents and like little buildings where they like have food and stuff. It's a pretty big sized camp though. They have a big runway for the planes to come in.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's the site I'm thinking of, because there's one site there that has a hot spring fed lake at the bottom, and then there's actually a green zone around it, and then there's like winter basically glaciers and everything above and around it.
It's why it's amazing these guys are going, because there's still kind of limited footage in certain ways, you know, because not a lot of people go to like McMurdo, you know, places like that for whatever reason. There's like no like science, you know, you'd think this would already be documented. There would just be many official ones, you know. I mean, 24-hour sun is an epic thing. So it is weird how like this is all, you know, shaped out. But I mean, the celestial sphere, you know, as like just as you go north, it just has to reflect as to what goes south. I think it just kind of like, the thing is that like, okay, one sun that circles Polaris on an AE map is kind of like globe in two ways. First of all, the AE map is like a, you know, a globe projection, as they say. So it like stretches it out in the south and it does some weird stuff like that. And then one sun is like heliocentric. Now, I'm not saying there are more than one sun. I'm just saying that like that idea of like one physical ball that's going around. You know what I mean? Versus just talking about where it is in the tropics and like, you know, in terms of its actual position, versus the actual claim that like it's some kind of a, doesn't have to be a physical ball, but yeah, some kind of a light. But then that goes into the question of what that is and how that can function, because within a magnetic field and within a toroidal field and within like the celestial sphere, this, and like in this Walter Bislin animation that I'm still sharing here on the screen share, like, yeah, it basically just shows, especially when you move it in the latitude like this. I mean, the way it tilts in the north and in the south is a mirror. And we already know that like right there, the sun like sets south of east, or rises south of east and sets south of west. So that arc right there, and if you just continue that process just like it does in the north, it levels out and you get the 24-hour sun. So however it's working is a whole nother question. And yeah, just because it fits a globe model, like, see, it would fit a globe model because this sphere right here that I'm moving is a globe. It's just that the top half of one, because it's obviously not under the ground, it's all around and above you. But I mean, this is a mirrored process. So however it's happening, whatever the Earth is, just because this fits the globe model doesn't mean the Earth is an actual globe. It means there's something else going on than someone thought. And yeah, maybe like one physical sphere sun going around an AE map is not like the ultimate truth of this realm. That's not surprising. That there's more to the movement of everything.
Okay, cool. And you know what? This is the first time I've ever actually seen this model before, and that like that's actually pretty awesome, man. The only model I've seen before this was the looked like a pizza pan with two lights over top of it.
Yeah. I'm trying to zoom into this. I mean, the thing is, with all the 24-hour sun footage I've seen at Union Glacier at this point, literally, it would have to be that all of that is faked at this point. And I will admit, some of them do look a little funky in some ways, but like nothing that's like dramatically fake or whatever it seems to me. Like I wouldn't call anything like in the red zone, but they're definitely like I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were not real. I've looked at them a handful of times, but I haven't really gone through like frame by frame. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's just like either all of that would have to be fake, or that is what occurs there. But then there's the question of is that the real sun or some kind of an artificial sun? But
I don't think any of them were faked, and I think there's only one sun. I think you're going to come to the same conclusion once you see the sun down there.
well, this celestial sphere is concave. So that's where the concave Earth comes in my viewpoint. It's the hemisphere, it's the celestial sphere of the hemisphere above our heads and all around us. You could call concave because we have a limit. Like this dude right here, like let's say somebody was right here. Here, I'll move him over to like, all right, he's over here, right? He's in, someone's in like Texas, whatever it may be, somewhere around there. And that like this dude can't see, like if we go over here and look out this way, if this guy was looking like up to the north, he is not, let me see if I can zoom in more here. He's not going to be able to see like all the way over to Europe. You know, it's just not going to happen. You're not just going to be chilling in Texas and like, oh yeah, Europe's right over there. Just not a thing. It's just way too far away, like way too far away. Therefore, you're only going to be seeing in some kind of a region like this. Like, I'm not saying this proportion is exactly right. Like, we could adjust it and do whatever else with this little animation or this little modeling thing, but it just shows how you're only going to be seeing a portion, and therefore that will appear to you in a way as kind of a concave like environment because you're going to see all of the stars above you, the sun, the moon. You can't really see beyond what you can't see beyond. And whether that's a hard firmament or a hard barrier or whatever that is, I do think this realm is in a way it's concave like that. It's just that we're on a stationary planar Earth with the whole field above us, and therefore like we're in like a concave hemisphere on top of a stationary plane.
What's Walter's explanation or reasoning for this half of a hemisphere? Like, what does he say this is in his model? Like, what's going on with this hemisphere moving around?
Yeah, you can change some of these parameters too. Well, you could read his thing on it. I mean, this is basically just taking a grid of the azimuth position of the ground and the sky and then mapping that. And I think there's a way to change the radius of this little hemispherical, because keep in mind that like when you recreate the sky, you have to make it a concave dome in order to replicate the sky in, let's say, a planetarium. So
Doesn't this model require knowing distances though?
does it require knowing them? What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Well, because usually when they, if a glober presents the modeling of, pretty much the expansion of the south or the star trails and stuff like that, you'd have to know the distances, no?
Not this particular model, no.
From what I'm looking at, this model's based on your field of view.
Yeah, but it's your. I mean, the code for this. He just used globe distances. I'm pretty sure.
And the and it being based on the field of view, that's why it would move. Because when you move, your perspective is going to be from where you're standing.
This doesn't really have distances. Like this map looks all distorted and whacked out. It's not really to that kind of level of accuracy. It's kind of more showing just it's more the grid that matters, like the azimuthal grid. The continent layout is obviously not like to scale here. Like it's all kind of distorted. It's not even good for an AE map. Like even if someone's going to use the AE map, which already is a kind of distorted, weird thing. I mean, that's what they use for the United Nations. You know how the United Nations logo is the AE map? We all know that. If you look at the logo for the United Nations, it's the azimuthal equidistant type map. I mean, to think that is the correct map, I think would be a huge misfire. The one that they're actually putting. Now, I know that them putting it, some people are like, oh yeah, they're putting the flat earth map in there. Well, fair enough, but I mean, that's the United Nations, the entire thing that came together after World War II, the biggest organization exists of collective, who happen to also have control over Antarctica and the North Pole.
Geo, it's any map with a North Pole at the center, okay? You eventually get to a point where you reach the equator, okay? And then if you start going beyond the equator, you have bigger and bigger circles. You could do it any way you like. That point past the equator, when the circles start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, is where it's in conflict with the globe. The globe past the equator, it gets shorter again. That's a ball, remember? Well, on this one, past the equator, it continues to get larger and larger and larger. So this isn't, the continents just appear larger. Maybe if we shrink Australia, just squish it together, it'll appear more. It'll appear more correct. No, it's the concept of beyond the equator, these circles continue to get bigger and bigger, and that is where it's in contention with the globe. Now, that's not to say the globe's the truth or anything, but humanity's measurements fall in line with the globe, which is south of the equator, these circles get smaller and smaller and smaller, and not bigger and bigger and bigger. This isn't a matter of, it's off here 10%, 20%. This is polar opposites. That means the beginning of Antarctica here next to the ocean, that is a massive circle around the whole world. The globe's version of that is way smaller. Is the globe's version of that is more around the circle of your atmosphere, of your personal dome. You see your personal dome around you? You see how large that circle was? Well, it's gone now. So this is the reason and why the AE map fails, and no version of the AE map, no adjustment of it can fix this problem.
That's not true. That's not true. Equatorial egocentric AE map, which is when you're talking about the AE map.
Excuse me. I just wanted to specify North.
I started wearing them.
Yeah, what's
North Pole?
Hold up, bro. You just finished doing a whole thing. Go ahead, Brian, man.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. God dang, that threw me off. Okay, but when you're talking about, we should specify the Gleason map with its North Pole centric instead of AE map, because AE means azimuthal equidistant. That don't mean just to the North Pole. That means anywhere you're at on that map, your azimuths all the way around you are equidistant. So just because people don't know how to use the AE map, don't make it wrong. So equatorial egocentric AE map has two natural forming poles, and so you'd look from the coast of South America, you'd see the light across Antarctica, because that's where Australia would be.
Can you post that one somewhere if you have it?
Yeah, hold on.
Because like kind of what he was saying. the problem with this one, Walter Bislin, yeah, it's just the this is just a projection off the globe along with the distance to the sun and stars. So when people look at this one, I know both flat and globe have had an issue with people using this one.
Is there a flat Earth map where Antarctica is not the rim on the outside? Is that just the AE? Is that why you criticize the AE? I mean, everyone I've seen.
Well, there
Antarctica
could be different
has
icy regions. Yeah, like if you have a planar surface Earth which comes out from the center like that, then yeah, there could be different regions of ice that they could call Antarctica. The thing is, it seems like with like when you look at like even on the globe, the Antarctica deal, it's really only like people only go on like a portion of it. You know, like humans, it's like one whole half of it pretty much is just like it's kind of like labeled, but there's no like bases or like living or anything like that on like a huge portion of it. It really actually seems like Antarctica is like two icy regions because when you look at where the actual camps are and how it's actually laid out, so that's kind of like if we really want to be the most like just discerning about what we're referring to there, like just to be like at the highest level of discernment.
I guess my issue with the ice ring is couldn't that easily be couldn't you travel from just the southern tips of different continents and see the time it takes to hit it and then determine whether or not you're in the same area as someone else who left on a different continent?
We don't like to talk about those things here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I mean, just the idea that like if you're going to be as discerning, like the highest level of discernment when it comes to what we kind of have access to as like regular civilians, quote unquote, of Antarctica, yeah, it seems like there's like a few regions of icy areas that are basically utilized. So like we know people go to those too, but I mean, what is the rest of the whole alleged continent, or whether it's on the whatever the layout of it is? What is the extent of those icy regions? And they seem to be going to one of them. I mean, the Union Glacier. I mean, if the plane ride is that, unless they go faster, but I don't know how far out they could go. You think they could go far out enough where the sun is just actually? Well, no. Then they'd have to make a blue sky, or the caustic effect would have to go blue for really long, even if you got past the sun. And then they just fly like 800 miles an hour or something, some super fast speed, and then I don't know. That'd be wild.
See, I'm still kind of skeptical on the full like 24-hour sun aspect of it, but like there could be still like 24-hour light. But I guess we'll have to see.
But what do you think about how the celestial sphere like matches the sky in the north south, and then how the 24-hour sun would be inevitable, but it would kind of imply that like we actually see the world through our own like human centric position.
Yeah.
And the sky manifests to us based on our relationship to the field above us in a personalized way.
Yeah, which would make sense.
For
I could understand that.
For whatever reason, has this toroidal spherical shape to it as how the celestial sphere manifests to us as we're moving across the earth.
Because that's like the, I guess, fundamental implication of geometry in of itself. Like the moment you kind of take a position anywhere, like everything from that position is going to be subject to that point of view, like relatively.
Well, like we see all the celestial bodies like on this little hemisphere thing. That's pretty much where we see them all. Like we see them in some level of a hemispherical region above us, which is why like a planetarium, you create like a dome basically, and then to have the stars on. So that's just replicating that. Now, this thing that has big balls up in the sky, yeah, I've never really resonated that that's what's happening, that it's just big balls above like an AE map. So that whole thing to me seems kind of like a heliocentric strawman that they kind of implanted like years ago. To have like one Helios sun that's just, I'm not saying that means there's more than one sun. I'm just saying like interpreting what the sun is as like a ball above there.
Yeah, and how it's like moving and where it actually like maps every individual like geographic location. There'd be a lot to really iron out to figure out like the full proper positioning of everything. It'd
Have you
be tough,
guys ever
probably.
written? Have you guys ever read the FAQ on the Antarctica webcams website? It says, "Why does the webcam skip some images? Black or very dark frames are omitted from the transmission automatically during times of low visibility caused by blizzards or natural darkness. Light may not be visible to the camera." So they're saying that so if it's dark, the webcams don't record the darkness. Okay, that's kind of annoying, because then all the time lapses would never actually show if it gets dark. Very interesting.
That's why those iPhone cameras are really good, because they record ultraviolet and infrared, and they stack the images on top of each other so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, I was thinking that I could use these webcam images, but if the FAQ says that they unfortunately don't capture night or dark imagery, so how would you ever know if it's actually getting dark or not? Well, then I'm actually interested to see what is being shown.
Yeah, so Clay, what are you thinking at this point? Because dude, like even in the Bible it talks about like the crystalline structure and just the heavens and so on, like do you think that the creation is that there is an actual 24-hour sun there, or do you think there's not one? Because I don't know if you were looking before when I was showing the kind of the celestial sphere and how it like tilts as you go north to south with the northern rotation and the southern rotation. And then the sun is moving in a similar path always in the north and in the south. So I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's more than one sun, but yeah, like how does the sun actually work? And I just wonder what, and then as it starts going south, it starts arcing that way. So, do you think there is one there, or what are your thoughts? What's your take on it?
So my take on it in general is that I don't think that the sun is a good proof for the surface, right? To prove what the surface is. But
Yeah.
to answer your question directly, I would say they will experience the coffee cup phenomena, right? So the sun will actually be out of sight for an hour or two, but it still will be there will still be enough light, right? Kind of like when you in the summer when you don't see the sun anymore, but you still have enough light as if it's just normal daylight. So yeah, I think that's what they're gonna experience. I just find it weird that in the FAQ of all these webcams it says that they will automatically refuse to use any dark images, which is strange.